Hey everyone, my name is Andrew and today we are going to be working on some basic ball handling drills. So before we get started, make sure you have a water bottle to stay hydrated and a basketball so you can follow along with the drills. So before we start actually dribbling today, we're going to do a little bit of a fingertip warm-up. But before we do that, I want to introduce you guys to triple threat position. So what we're going to do is bend our knees, keep our back straight and keep our eyes up. This is a fundamental position to be in during basketball and it's perfect for what we're doing today. So to start off, we're just going to pass the ball nicely back and forth between our fingertips. Don't slap the ball with your hand. You'll have no control. Pass the ball just nicely with your fingertips. Now, see if you can go harder and faster. The harder you go, the more you'll push yourself. If you lose the ball like this and it's gone, just get your ball back and keep going and just keep pushing yourself. Next, we're just going to go around the waist. Whatever direction you want to do, it's up to you, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you switch directions just like I did at some point. After this, we're going to go between the legs. Go both directions and just push yourself. Switch legs and switch directions. Now we're going to incorporate those two together in sequence like this. So we're going to go between the legs, around the waist, between the legs, and around the waist. Try and switch direction and up your speed. If you lose it, that's perfect. So after we've done around the waist and between the legs, what we're going to do now is around our head. So pass the ball around your head. Don't go like this. Actually pass the ball around your head. Now once we have those three down, put your legs together and we're going to put those three together. So around the waist, around the legs, around the waist, around the head, just like this. Switch speed and switch your direction if you can. The harder you go, the more you'll push yourself and the better you'll get. If you lose it, that's totally fine. I don't have it anymore, but guess what? I've gotten better and I can keep going. So before we actually start dribbling, we don't even need a basketball. So we're going to get in triple threat position. So triple threat position, you bend your knees, keep your back straight, and keep your eyes up. Now this may be uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So once you're in triple threat position, then you can finally grab your basketball. So before you start dribbling, make sure that you do not dribble with the palm of your hand. Do not slap the ball like this. What you want to do is use your fingertips and bounce the ball off of your fingertips. So once we've done some dribbling with our dominant hand, let's switch to our non-dominant hand and try and dribble softly with our fingertips on that side of our body. Once you're comfortable dribbling with your dominant and non-dominant hand, we're going to move on to working on some variations through dribbling. So we're going to start dribbling with your dominant hand at knee height. Next, we're going to work on our dominant hand going shoulder height. Remember this whole time, stay in triple threat position and keep your eyes up. Finally, we're going to work with our dominant hand going below the knee, as low to the ground as we can. Once you're comfortable with that, switch to your non-dominant hand and do those there. So at the knee, keep your eyes up, shoulder height, and as low as you can go. Once we're comfortable with those variations, we're going to work on crossovers. Now for crossovers, you want to bounce the ball directly between your feet and just go side to side like this. You can either go far out like I'm doing now, or you can do crossovers close in. So the ones we just did were a pretty easy variation of dribbling. So now we're gonna move on to a little bit harder. So the first one we're gonna do is just in and out with one hand back and forth in front of your body. Now you can do this with either your dominant or your non-dominant hand. Once you get the groove of doing it back and forth in front of your body, try and put it front and back beside your body. Two variations are ones that you guys have probably seen NBA superstars do, and they might look pretty complicated, but once you get the hang of them, they actually become pretty simple and pretty just flow of mind to do. So the first one is just going to be between the legs. So if you want, you can keep your legs just parallel like this, or you can put one forward, and all you're gonna do is just bounce the ball right in between your legs. Now you can do this that way, or you can switch the foot that you put in front of you. The next variation, that's a little harder and will probably take you some more time to practice and get used to, is behind the back dribbling. So this one, you kind of just want to visualize the ball bouncing right underneath your bum and between your legs. It may take some time for you to get used to it, but the more you mess up and push yourself, the better you'll become. So this next variation we're going to do is going to be the hardest variation that we do for today. You're going to have a basketball in your dominant hand and a tennis ball in your non-dominant hand, and what you're going to do is try and dribble them at the same time. If you mess up, don't even worry about it. I can't even do it very well. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. At any point you need water, don't hesitate, take a water break and just chug some nice cold water. So refreshing. So since we're done the stationary dribbling, now we're going to move on to some dribbling while we're moving. So I've set up some pylons in a zigzag formation, and we're going to work on our crossovers and the moves we just did, moving and weaving in between those pylons. So for the first one, we're going to do simple in front of the body crossovers. So just like this. Now remember, keep your body in triple threat position. So that's knees bent, back straight, and eyes up. So when we come to the first pylon, make sure you plant your outside foot on the outside of the pylon. And then cross over and do the same thing. Cross over, do the same thing. Cross over, do the same thing. So now that we've got the hang of doing crossovers in front of our body, next we're going to do crossovers between our legs in this zigzag formation. Remember to start in triple threat position again, so that's knees bent, back straight, and eyes up. And what you're going to do, you're going to dribble to the first pylon, make sure your inside foot is planted, and cross the ball under your leg and keep going. So inside foot's planted, cross the ball, keep going. Inside foot planted, cross the ball, keep going. Inside foot's planted, cross the ball, keep going. So you've got the hang of between the legs. We're going to try the hardest variation for today, and that's going to be behind the back. Now behind the back is a lot easier if you do triple threat position. That way it kind of creates a space between the back of your legs and the bottom of your bum. So if you want to try and do behind the back standing up, it's probably not going to work. It's probably going to end up being like this, and you're probably going to hurt yourself. But if you are in triple threat position, you create this space under your legs, and you can nicely just go back and forth in that space that you've created. So the first variation of behind the backs we're going to do is just the simple bounce behind your legs. So you're going to go up to the pylon, bounce behind your legs. Go up to the pylon, bounce behind your legs. If you mess up, that's totally fine. You'll get better. Go up to the pylon, bounce behind your legs. Go up to the pylon, bounce behind your legs. So the second variation of behind the back, some of you may find easier, some of you may find harder. It's just wrapping the ball around your back like this. So when you go up to the pylon, you're just going to wrap the ball around your back. Although we didn't work too hard today and we mostly did dribbling stuff, it's still an important habit to stretch after every single time you play. So to begin, since we did a lot of arm stuff, we're just going to stretch out our arms. Now to make these stretches effective, you want to take your time, maybe count to 10 every single time while you do them, and then switch to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for these other stretches, just follow along, and by the end of it, you'll just feel rejuvenated and refreshed. Well, I hope today that you learned some new things and you worked on your fundamentals of dribbling. I can't wait to see you next week. And if you need a basketball, please DM us at Shiloh Connections on Instagram. See you next time.